We are at the Beef Industry Summer Meeting in Denver and talking now with Dr. Harry Kaiser from Cornell. And he was commissioned to do a survey on the return on investment of the beef checkoff. What were your findings?
Well, I had two principal findings. One is that the CBB activities, both in the domestic market and in the international market, had a substantial impact on beef demand, both in the United States as well as overseas. In fact, what I found was over the period 2006 to 2013, had there been no CBB marketing activities, demand in the United States would have been 11.3% lower than it actually was, and demand overseas would have been 6.4% less than it was. That is a substantial impact. The second and perhaps more important bottom line finding of the study is that the benefits of the CBB marketing activities, both overseas as well as domestically, are tremendously greater than the costs. Specifically, what I found was a benefit cost ratio of 11.2, which basically means if the CBB had an extra dollar to invest in marketing activities, both domestically and abroad, that would return on average $11.20 in additional net revenue to both beef producers and to beef importers.
Were there a couple things that really stuck out as you looked at the data as you came back, as far as a particular campaign or discounting or anything like that?
The thing that really stood out to me is that the level of the impact. I've done these sorts of studies for virtually every commodity out there, and generally we do find a very high return, a very good impact on demand, but this impact on demand was probably twice as high as what you find for the average commodity. And the rate of return, or the benefit cost ratio, was also very high. I also did some sensitivity analysis and tried to say, well, what if things are a little bit worse than these results are showing? And even with that, the returns were well above 1, indicating that the benefits exceed the cost.
Well, as we look at these results, were there any particular countries, regions, or whatever that you saw a significant impact more than others?
Yeah, there were. I looked specifically at 7 different regions in the world, and both Mexico and what was the other one?
China, I believe.
Okay,
yes.
yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah. Both Mexico and China had a higher return on investment than the others. But having said that, all 7 countries had very sizable returns. So I wouldn't recommend completely rearranging how the money is spent. But maybe at the margin, you might want to be spending a little bit more money in Mexico and China/Hong Kong.
So the Cattlemen's Beef Board was the one that funded this to find out for sure. And I think those China numbers, I think would be good to know that they've spent a lot of time cultivating that market.
Absolutely, because that's a market that's got a lot of potential in the future for any sort of product, including beef. It's an emerging market, and the middle class there is growing like gangbusters. So it's a very good market for U.S. beef.
Anything else folks need to know about that study?
Just to reiterate, I think that if I was a beef producer or a beef importer, I would be very supportive of this program, because the returns that they are receiving on their investment are substantial and at a level that any business, big or small, would envy.
All right, Doctor, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Dr. Harry Kaiser from Cornell. He was the author of a survey by the Cattlemen's Beef Board on looking at the return on investment of the beef checkoff. Reporting from Denver for Ag View, I'm Ken Rogers.